Today's podcast is one of the most special conversations that I've ever had because today's guest, Philip Lister, has recently passed away. On June 8th, 2024, we recorded this episode alongside his wonderful wife, Elena, and just 2 weeks later, on June 22nd, his life came to an end. He was diagnosed with cancer and given less than a year to live, and I had no idea it would happen this quick. It was such a special opportunity to share this space with them, to look Philip in the eye, and just have the opportunity to meet him before he passed. He shares his experience knowing his life is coming to an end. We also hear from his wonderful wife, Elena, what it's like to be the wife of a husband knowing his life is going to come to an end. It was an emotional conversation, even though Philip's sense of humor shines plenty of times. He has such a wonderful perspective. He lived a life full of love that you're going to see between the two of them, and it was such an honor. And I really hope you enjoy this episode and look at it with a heavy heart and a lens that sees how fragile this life is, and to really capture every moment, to learn from this man, to learn from Elena, and to really look at this with an open mind. And I hope you enjoy it. And it was such a privilege to have met this man, and I'm looking forward to you enjoying this episode and to get to know Philip and Elena a little bit more. Rest in peace, Philip, and sending love to the family. Thank you all. So just from the beginning of this conversation, it's clear you guys have a psychiatry background because of the way you guys heavily digest things. And for me, I find that interesting in your unique situation where, Philip, you guys are telling me you have a certain amount of time left to live, and you as his life partner are very much in it as well, and having to digest losing the love of your life and doing this together. And you said one specific thing about the dynamic that it wasn't an immediate loss. And that conversation comes up all the time. You know, I mean, it's not to say which is better, which is worse. It's just like they're totally two different experiences. But I do want to tap into both your perspectives in handling knowing that Philip will pass in a certain amount of time. But to start, Philip, what exactly have the doctors told you in regards to how much time you have left?
The reason that's a complicated question is because doctors deal with that request for information differently. Some are relatively comfortable being direct with their answer, some not so much. But my diagnosis happened in November, and the most direct answers were ones in which people said you have less than a year to live, or phrases like in the range of between 6 and 9 months.
And so next, this is for both of you. I would like you both to tie into this question, but that moment you heard that, do you remember that moment when the doctor told you your exact diagnosis and how much time you have left to live? What was that experience like for both of you?
I mean, I'll jump in on this one. Once we knew his diagnosis, I mean, we're doctors. I looked it up and looked at all the data. And so, you know, he wasn't telling me something I didn't know. But to hear a doctor say it is a whole nother story. It's much more concrete and real. And it's very hard to take it in. I mean, I think I said, oh, you know, got it. And it's needed these months to sift in, really, to really, really get the situation that we're in. And I think I'm there now, but I'm actually not even sure. So it was not an easy moment. And actually the doctor who told us initially about everything and made the plan with us for chemo, et cetera, was very vague. And so the first experience we had with the doctor was more like, Phil asked, you know, could I be alive in 5 years? And he said, oh, it's possible. And we knew that was really highly unlikely. And we asked more pointed questions. It's very hard. They're afraid they'll take away hope if they tell you. And so we had the experience of needing to really pursue getting those words told to us. So in some ways, oddly, it was a relief to finally have somebody telling us, really, and an awful, awful relief, awful fact to be, you know, to process.
Yeah, that's kind of it's a obviously a double-edged sword there in regards to wanting to know, but also the reality of it. Philip, what about you? What do you recognize or remember in regards to that, the feeling or the awareness of learning about this?
Well, we had been through this with our daughter. And through this, I mean, through the experience of knowing in one part of my mind that I'm asking a question that has an answer, and I know what the answer is. And I know they know what the answer is. And I don't know how they're going to navigate providing the answer that is the right answer, because I know it's hard for them to do that. And still, it's their duty to do that. So here's the test. And again, various people back then handled or quote unquote passed the test with different degrees of sort of fidelity. And some who were as direct as I would wish. And we had some wonderful doctors who did speak the truth as we would want. And it was very upsetting. And when I say that, I guess I want to add, like, and that's what they're being paid for. So it's not like I wanted them to soften it. I wanted them to do it fully, truthfully, unhurriedly, and a few of them did it just right. And I feel, and I think we feel, a great deal of gratitude toward those who, in that language, did it right, did it fully, did it with compassion, with time. And yeah, so in this case, again, there was a sense of, holy moly. I knew this was the answer, and I wanted to hear the answer, and I hate hearing the answer. I hate it. Is it really true? All that testing, all that doubting, all that wanting to undo it was present. And having lived through that experience with regard to Liza's diagnosis, I think I was, to some degree, not surprised, but still it was an intense awareness of what I wanted to hear being different from what I was hearing.
Well, just for clarification, so your daughter Liza, correct me if I'm wrong, she passed when she was 6 years old and she had leukemia.
Yeah.
So it's because you both related this experience to that experience, and I obviously there's similarities and there's so much differences at the same time. So I kind of want to tie both of these scenarios together to see how ask rather, has that prepared you in any sense, knowing for your own mortality in this case and having experienced the death with your daughter? Has it helped? Has it made it harder? Like, what is the correlation from that experience to your own mortality, knowing you're going to pass?
The answer to that question, is it helped, is it harder, is yes, both. That was a devastating experience, and also in its way beautiful. She died at home with us in our arms, like she wanted, with her sister there. My son wasn't born yet. So, there are parts of it that I would want to have happen again, like the ability to talk about it and drawing together as a family and spending time. But at least for me, and this is different than for Phil, I think, in that experience, I had a partner. Phil. And in this experience, I don't, because he's sick. And it's not that he doesn't want to be my partner, but we're in very different positions right now. And there's a lot I have to process that he doesn't, a lot he has to process that I don't. And, the challenge of trying to understand each other's experience and share it in as loving and compassionate a way as we can is, it's a challenge. And I have flashbacks to that, the experience with our daughter dying. So, and it's not raw in the sense that it was when she died, but it never goes away. When you have a child die, it never goes away. I don't think grief ever goes away, actually. I just think we evolve with it. So, we've evolved with it, but it's there. And each of us is deeply impacted by her death, by her illness, and then her death. She was ill for 2 years and then died. And the other thing with Liza was that it was really clear. They came in and they said, we have nothing else to offer her for cure. She is going to die 2 weeks to a year from now. And it was clear, and we could mobilize around that. And this is not. It's all a little vaguer. And so you get this experience of, well, maybe he could be the one person who survives this till he's 110. And you have these moments when you really think that, if he's having a good afternoon or something. And then there are other moments where you think, what was I thinking? He's so sick. And he carries his sickness really, really well. He looks much better than he is, which is great. But at least I think he does. But I think he's cute no matter what. So I don't know. I'm a little biased, but yeah, that it's very painful, and it was differently painful to lose a child than to lose a spouse.
Yeah, it's like I think about just again, I have not experienced either of your situations, so I can't relate in many ways, but in the thought that those are similar situations in many ways, but completely different. The dynamic is so different. So that's why it's like you have one experience, it might prepare you in some sense, but at the same time, it just doesn't prepare you at all. And so, Philip, in this situation, with being given a certain amount of time to live, where are you right now in regards to, have you just, and to tie into what she just said, I just accept it, or are you in a mental state of you want to prolong it as long as possible? Like where is your mental state in regards to fighting this?
I don't know some of the time. I think that's a true summary. Some of the time I'm clued in, some of the time I'm clued out. And I'm aware of a part of me that is ready to seize onto any tiny shred of information that fits with getting better. And okay, there's the getting better possibility. Yeah, I could get better. Wonderful. So I know enough about the getting better scenario that I can just like a touch screen thing, I can just go near it and it lights up. I don't even need to like program it in any way, because I just know all the stuff that goes with getting better. So it's right there.
Well, it's just I'm just currently, just don't mind me, because I'm just in live time just digesting this all, because this is a scenario that,
Beautiful.
it's, you say beautiful? I didn't hear what you said. Yeah, and I'm happy you said that. I'm happy you said that, because it is beautiful, and I think just from this brief time that I've had with you two, your perspectives together, the bond that I can see through this little digital screen, and you starting off this episode with hopefully usable audio, just in case the audio in the beginning wasn't usable. You specified your journey was raising children, and even life in general, that it's hard, but it gives life purpose in a sense. This is hard. This is about as hard and as real as it gets, and to be able to witness this journey and the way that you guys are talking it in such a calm way, but serious, in such an emotional way that clearly there's pain. There's a lot to be said that you are willing to just have this conversation, both of you, that you're both willing to sit here and confront this, because I think confronting it is the only way to do it, in my opinion, without having any idea what I'm talking about. And so your honest answers and your honest expression just means so much right now. And I want to ask, in regards to your situation, knowing you're going to leave Elena, what is that dynamic for you, knowing you're going to be the one to leave this world and leave her behind? What is that conversation with her? Like, what is your goal to leave this world for her, if that makes sense?
I could think of some other cool things to talk about along the way before you got to the end of that question.
Are you a sports fan? Do you want to go? We could talk about the Yankees. I'm wearing a Yankee shirt right now.
Mm.
You know what I mean, though, like that, because it's two different processes. Like what she explained already. Like you're both grieving, and I mean you're dying, but she's grieving, and she's gonna be by herself. Like she's gonna have a partner.
It's painfully evident to both of us, and has been from the beginning. She needs to, and is jumping into taking hold of so many responsibilities in day-to-day life as a as one who takes care of the stuff of family life, whether it's paying the bills or tracking certain kind of mail that comes in, that I would have done in the past, and now I, some combination of can't, don't want to, and we need to, somebody needs to. So it piles up on her to do. And, there's so many reasons that's, it's sensible and smart that she do it. And she's capable and good at it. So that's good that she get hold of it now while I'm alive, so that if there's stuff that I've squirreled away in one way and she would have squirreled it away in a different way, that we can, figure out where the acorns are and minimize the chaos that ensues. But I'd like to spend every second with her. And if she needs to tackle 7 million new tasks, she's not available to do an additional 7 million tasks with me. And that's awful. Because who would I rather spend my last days and weeks with? And yeah, that's it. But I know she wants to spend them with me too. It's not like, I mean, maybe on a bad day, she might feel like, I'm glad to get this guy out of my hair. But
Never.
overall, I know she wants to hang with me and watch interesting stuff, idiotic stuff, and um, and I can feel it now in the sun here. I'm having a good day, as they say, and so yeah, let's watch Less and Such and rip that guy to shreds, whoever that guy might be, and well, period.
It is heartbreaking to have one foot here and a toe knowing I have to plan a life.
How do you deal with that? How are you dealing with that?
Well, one way is I cry. I cry a lot.
It's okay.
But also, I'm a planner. I'm an organizer, a planner. So I try to lay down tracks, so that when he's not here, I have my connections, my people who love me, who will support me. I have an idea of what life could look like, which of course I don't know at all, but I try to imagine if I dare to. But as he said, I'm still here trying to drink in, eat every moment I can with him. And so there's this duality. Like I'm trying to, I'm holding on and letting go at the same time. And that's kind of crazy. And I think for him too, that he is holding on and letting go at the same time. And it's excruciating for me when I see him, kind of grappling with having to say goodbye to people, which he's been doing, and knowing that there are events
It's okay.
in our kids' lives which he won't be there for, and they care about that a lot, and he does too. And I know we'll bring him there with us in some way. Always he will be present, but not the way we want, but still very present. And he's deeply etched in both kids who are alive now. And we have a grandson, and our older daughter has taken great pains to bring him a lot. He's only 2, but so that he has some experience of the essence of Goompa, to carry forward when he's not here, when Phil's not here. But it breaks my heart.
Well,
He has to say goodbye for him, not for me. I mean, I have that too, but wow.
it's a lot. And I keep going back to what Philip said when he specifically used the word beautiful, because it's such a, it's not, I don't think it's not really, I think the first word for many people, unless I feel like you've gone through certain experiences like you guys have. And this, to me, again, this, as emotionally hard as this is, I'm witnessing you both, and this is in many ways beautiful. I couldn't think of a better word, because the expression of love that I'm getting from you both, and that is so clear between you both and your family, and what you've already gone through, and how you're handling this, it is beautiful. And as sad as, equally if not more as sad as it is, the way you guys are perceiving this and handling this is it's a lesson that anyone that's listening right now, I think it just says so much. And what these experiences, what are the lessons that you're pulling from this? If you had to pull from this, like, because I feel like, Philip, in your situation, I'm sure, tell me if I'm wrong, you're not only thinking about the future that she's going to be in and the life that you've lived, but does this give you a different perspective on the life that you lived and anything you're trying to instill on her life moving forward, your grandchildren and your children? It's a big question. So I was sorry I didn't ask anything cooler again, but I just really want to pick your brain and how you're seeing the world and the life you're going to leave behind.
One moment, please.
I hope that's strong.
Strongest water you've ever seen.
And I mean, they have some good water these days, you know?
I mean, if you line up the world into lesson instillers and non-lesson instillers, pile me over with the non-lesson instillers, please. Sorry. On the other hand, if I had to come up with a lesson, I can do it.
I know you can.
And so if you like the word beautiful, what's beautiful is just that. Just that ability to be quiet and not fill the space, but be with the space. Be curious about the space. Trust that the space is going to hold us however it can, hopefully together. But however it can, it's going to hold us. And if we can stay with the beautiful parts, then that's something that we can kind of cherish individually and like together and not together. And have it, and have knowing that we have it together. We sort of have the process, the challenge of taking it in, being mystified by it, being blown away by it, being horrified by it, and just working with it as best we can, which everybody else on this planet is doing in their own way. So in that sense, we join everybody in the hard task of living a good life.
Again, it goes back again, hard. It's hard. Yeah. But I think what you just said, it resonates with me so much about, I feel like we are constantly trying to fill that space. And sometimes I think it's not just sitting in the quiet. Like, I think sometimes how I'm taking what your words are, it is sitting in that quiet, but it's being okay in that quiet, not having to fill up certain moments with distractions or anything else. Because honestly, it's that stillness, and that stillness brings calmity, and that calmity amongst the chaos helps get us through that chaos. And you guys are in it right now. But again, it's beautiful the way you guys. Thank you for that, and I want to thank you both for everything you're doing right now. But I do want to ask you another deep question, if you don't mind. Are you, again, it's kind of back to my first question about the acceptance, but is there any fear of dying on your end, or are you at peace with it in a sense that, like, how does that correlate with your beliefs? Do you guys have similar beliefs in regards to, if anything, what the heck happens after this?
You want to take it?
Okay. I think we have similar beliefs, but I don't know if you're too young to watch the Newlywed Game, but they ask one partner a question: the other one hides behind something and doesn't hear, and then they see whether the partner guessed what the other one would say correctly. And the winner is the people who guess, what their partner thinks and says the best. And so I may fail the newlywed game here, but my my sense is that we both don't believe in a place that you go, a heaven per se. We believe we exist in the universe in some way, in memory, in hearts. So we continue in that way, but not not in any. I'm in a place. There is a body. I think everything stops. Everything. And I'm afraid of it, but I'm actually less afraid than feeling like there's no place else I'd rather be than right in it. Because he's there. And because these moments are, they're precious, You really try to see, not sweating the small stuff. What does all that really matter? We get so caught up in so much. And I worry about him being in pain. There's a feeling like I can't fix that. If he's in pain and it's pain that can't respond to the medication enough, I can't, I'm helpless. I can't fix it. I can be with him in it. That's something. But so, yeah, I don't know if you could see my necklace. You probably can't. Phil has lost a lot of function in his right hand and arm, and he's a righty. And the kids back in November for my birthday made this. He wrote on it. What were some of the last things he's really clearly written? You are loved. And so he continues in this.
Amen. What about you, Philip? Where do you believe we go after this, if anywhere?
I would say what's a little novel for me is that I just feel like I occupy the don't know, just don't know more fully than ever. And that's fine.
Of course. Yeah.
Is it fine? Doesn't scare you at all?
Well, at this moment, it doesn't scare me. There might be moments when it scares me, but I'm blocking them out at the moment.
So when you say you're blocking those moments out, so there's an undercurrent of a fear of dying?
Yeah, there's some creepy crawly fantasy material in there, I'm sure.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think even like with the necklace, regardless of what happens, there's like, even like when I think of my dad, it's like he's not here, he's here in a different form, whatever that means, or maybe he's not, but it's what we make of it. You know what I mean? So it's like we're gonna find out, and either way, we're all going that way. It's just some people go at different times in this case, of course. But I do want to ask just a couple of things that you've brought up in regards to how beautiful it is that you guys want to spend as much time together as you can, of course. What do you tell people now that have more life to live, and when it comes to getting distracted with all the little BS in life and maybe getting busy with this, that, the other, and not spending time with each other? We'll go to both of you, but Philip, do you have any advice for someone who still has life to live and how to spend that time?
I suppose I do, since you're bringing me to a exchange that I had just a couple of days ago. where I had a scare and thought maybe I was very close to death. And so one sort of panel in my psyche was, have I conveyed to them all that I need or want to convey? So them as the children and Elena, my most important connections. And the what is, do they know how much confidence I have in them as wonderful, capable world benders and folks who are going to bend the world in a positive direction, no doubt. So I feel like if my dad knew the degree to which I wished he had done more for me to support those capacities in me that I can see I have now. And I can understand that he could see that I had them then, but he was not inclined for a gazillion reasons to address it with me. And that's a shame for both of us. I think it would have been really sweet had he found or made the time to reflect on what I had to offer. And Jesus would have let me carry my relationship with him in a very different way. He could have carried his relationship with me in a very different way. That would have been lovely and missed opportunity. Hate that. So, if you got a father, if you got a son, if you got a daughter, do it. Say it now. Twice.
It's so important. And so you're taking these opportunities now?
I'm trying. Yep.
That's some big advice because there's so many things.
I have a friend who's... Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, sorry, I apologize we got a little lag there. So continue, please.
I should let you go. You're the boss.
No, I was just, I wish I was the boss, but if you want to pretend, I'm happy to do that too. I was just saying that I think that's huge because there's so many things left unsaid. It's as simple as that. That's really all I wanted to say. And I think when you come to moments that you are where, your time is limited, it's amazing advice. Hope literally everyone is listening to understand that. And it's easier said than done because when the moment comes to say something, we have all these thoughts in our head. We don't say it,
Yeah.
So I don't know if you were going to say more. I apologize for the accidental cutting you.
I was going to say something about a dear friend who I wanted to confirm with Elena that she knew who I was thinking of as this particularly dear friend who didn't quite have a strong hold on how close our friendship is from my point of view. And I also had a notion of how she needs to and can get her shit together. And I want to bang on my drum so that she knows that she's got me rooting for her to do that, confident that she can do it.
I love that. Elena, I want to ask you on the flip side of that, as being the wife of a husband that has limited time left on this earth, what would you say to, I mean, I guess anyone you love, let alone a partner, and perhaps maybe not someone who has a partner that, is at the last phase of their life, but just in general, going back to spending time with someone, what would you say to these people that still have their loved one by their side?
Oh boy. I don't feel like any expert, like, oh, gee, I know, let me tell you what to do. But I know that my father never said, I love you to me directly. I felt he loved me, but it was never said. And we say, I love you to our kids a lot and to our grandson and and to friends. And I think it, like Phil has said, asked me, do the kids know how much I love them? I want to make sure they know. Tell them how much. And I said, they know. They know. I have no doubt they know. But it also is good to say it. And the said things get carried in a different way forward. And they're etched in some way that's more palpable. And so say it. Say it, everybody. Tell the people you love that you love them, even if you're just going to the store. And it doesn't have to mean I won't see you again. It's just, by the way, I love you. And there's that. Have the courage to try to work stuff out, like try not to back off from figuring it out with somebody so that if you get suddenly no time, you've worked on stuff with them. Um, I don't believe there's any such thing as closure, but I do think there are things that one can feel left unsaid or unresolved, and that sometimes it isn't necessary for them to have been unsaid and unresolved. And in our work, I guess I hear, the things that people regret the most are, one, they didn't say I love you enough, and two, that they felt such anger all the time, and maybe it came out in indirect ways, and they didn't work it out, and now they can't. So yeah, say it.
Just,
Say it
excuse my
again.
French, but just fucking say it, guys. And I'm speaking to myself at the same time. Is at this point, is there anything between you two that you feel is unresolved?
All right, you got to take that one first, Phil.
Man, I love you guys.
I take it and I say no.
Say it again, sorry.
I said I'll take it and I say no.
There we go, baby. I love that. I got to tell you, this is. I feel like I was. It was only a couple days ago that we got introduced, but I've been thinking about it a lot, and part of me was trying not to think about it too much because I knew how profound this conversation would be, and a couple tears came out. It's okay, and thank God the quality of this camera right now from the internet isn't that good. You probably didn't see that, but I just want to thank you both for the time to have this intimate conversation, because I think this is, there's a lot of important things in this world, but conversations like this in a situation that you two are currently in, and a lot of other people are currently in, I think deserves more light and more attention, because I'm not sure what brings out what this life is more about than being in a situation that you two are in now, when the time is coming up, and from both perspectives, that is, because it's two different perspectives. And ultimately what I'm learning from this conversation is that even these situations bring out the beauty. They clearly bring out the love. And I think those two things are just two massive foundations in this world. So Philip, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for taking the time. Elena, I want to thank you for taking the time. It's a true honor. I wish I was in the room with you both, preferably than over this computer. But I'm grateful for any opportunity that I can. And Philip, you're a badass man, I can. You have a sense of humor that it shows glowingly, despite where you're at right now. So, and that says, to me personally, with the respect for humor, it says a tremendous amount about you and both of you. So I just want to send my respect and love. And if there's anything either of you want to say right now, or again, you haven't said shut up to me yet, even though I gave you permission, you can end it there as well. But if there's anything you both want to say, feel free.
I think we're good. I appreciate the spirit of your chat with us.
Likewise.
I mean, I wish more people did what you're doing. And
whatever you're doing.
Whatever it is you're doing. And we don't know most of what you're doing.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Okay. Well, I see you're tricking us pretty well.
Oh, well.
And we're grateful that you gave us the opportunity, because I hope that anybody who listens feels like, one, they're stronger, can face it if they're in the situation. We're not anything, we're just regular people. Nothing special about us. So if we can do it, they can. And also, that they, figure out and do all the love they can. Mm-hmm. When Phil first got diagnosed, I said to the kids, all right, kids, we got to just love them up. And that's kind of what we have been doing. And so back to you. I mean, just that you have, even though you've had a painful loss, and I imagine because of it in some way, you have the capacity to be with what we're talking about, which isn't easy. And you don't even know us really, and it isn't easy. And so, I just am really appreciative of your staying in it with us, asking the hard questions, not backing off, and being gentle, but, so present with us. So thank you for that.
Well, the honor is all on this side. I promise you that. This is definitely one of the most important conversations I had in my life, to be honest. Honestly, I truly mean that. This is an opportunity I've never had. And again, you guys don't know me. I just got to know you guys. And for you guys to feel comfortable to do this, it means a lot. So I'm going to be thinking about this for quite a long time. And just so you know, Philip, you've officially put a footprint on my life, just so you know, for the rest of my life. So I want to make sure you know that. I know you just met me, but you really did. So maybe that means nothing to you because, again, you don't know who the hell I am. But I want to. You definitely. You just left them. You both left a mark on me.
Now I'm going to try to find out who the hell you are.
All right, don't Google too much, okay? I'll give you my mother's number. She'll tell you the worst stuff. So, I really am grateful to have met both of you, and you guys have my information. Happy to talk outside this unrecorded if you guys need literally anything at all. Elena, you got me for forever. Literally, I really mean that. And I want to send my love to both of you. You guys still have time together, so love the shit out of each other. Do whatever you can, and then if there's literally anything I can do, just please keep me in mind, okay?
Just keep doing what you're doing.
Sweet.
I will do my best.
So
of course.
Yeah.
And everyone, thank you for tuning into Dead Talk. But real quick, before we get out of here, I do want to plug, because the one thing that's going to outlive us all are your books. So I do want to put that out there. You guys both wrote books, and I will put that in the link. But I don't know. I'm not going to speak on it. Because if there's anything you want to quickly say about your books, I'll put the links in the show notes, just so you know both your legacies are going to continue on beyond this. And I would love to just plug those in there.
That means a lot to me because my book came out after many years of working on it, by which I mean working on writing, which is a craft I respect and feel very warmly toward, very connected to. But while I put a ton of work into writing the book, I didn't have the same kind of confidence / stamina for marketing the book. And when I'm in a grim state of mind, I might give myself several lashes with a wet noodle for not marketing the book in a way that it deserved, or I could have maybe. So, with that said, the book I wrote is called A Short Good Life. And it has a website, ashortgoodlife.com. There are a number of poems recorded on that, on the website. And I do feel very proud of I feel proud of the book. I feel proud of having created the website. And if anybody has the time to look at it and absorb it and share with me any reactions, I welcome that. That's a gift to me at any time.
Well, I'm going to market it. I promise you that. Literally, as soon as this call hangs up, I'm going to market it. and you have. I'm going to market both your books. You have one as well, right, Elena?
Yeah, I wrote a book that is called Giving Hope, Conversations with Children about Illness, Death, and Loss. And it's about how to have these conversations. And it's meant for anybody who takes care of kids in any way. And it was motivated by finding that it was extremely difficult for people to talk to children about what was going on in whatever loss was happening, sibling, parent, grandparent, pet, and I just thought that writing it in a book form, if it's 2 a.m. and they can't sleep, they can go and look and, maybe find some comfort and some compassion about what they're going through. So I wrote it with a colleague, Michael Schwartzman, and a colleague and a friend. And I'd say I'm proud of it. And it's not really, it was done by a major publishing house and it's not really marketed. But anybody who reads it, I hope it helps them. And didn't write it to, get on TV shows. I wrote it because I thought it needed to be written.
Well, I love that.
Find it anyplace.
Just speaking to you two, and just for this hour, I'm sure it's been very grueling for you both because they actually switched locations. I'm sure there's some great lessons in there. So I'm going to do my best to push it out there and see if we can get a couple more people out there. I got a little bit of a following, so I can't promise it's going to get you a new house anytime soon, but I'll definitely do some marketing for you. If anyone's listening, I'm going to put the books in the show notes. Please check it out. And maybe hopefully I'll get some people to read it soon and try to get some reactions for you as well. So again, I'm honored to have shared the space with you. I'm honored to have met you both. And I just want to thank you again. And for anyone listening, I hope you enjoyed the episode. And thank you for tuning into another episode of Dead Talks. Cheers. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Dead Talks. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell. That'll give you updates as to when we post a new video, more episodes, and more content in general. We are streaming on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and all that. And also find us on Instagram at Dead Talks Podcast or www.deadtalks.net. Thank you so much.